Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest edition of the podcast brought to you by the team here at Export to Japan. And for this particular episode, we are going to learn a lot more about the electronics and IT sector in the Japanese market. And to help us understand more about that, I am delighted to welcome this episode's guest, Mr. Mitch Chihara of JEITA. Mitch, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much for inviting me to this program. I'm very honored.
Oh, it's our pleasure. And thank you so much for sharing some of your valuable time with us. I know I'm talking to you over in Japan at the moment, and it's evening time for you. Where do we find you in Japan at the moment? Which part of Japan are you in, Mitch?
Tokyo.
You're in Tokyo. All right. Very good. Very good. All right. Well, thank you once again for your time to join us. Well, I'd like to kick off, Mitch, by just asking you to tell us a little bit more about your organization. You know, some of our viewers and listeners may have heard of JEITA, but I'm sure that there's a number of people that don't know about it. So tell us a little bit more about JEITA and what is your objective and what do you do, Mitch?
Sure. JEITA is a leading IT and electronics industry association in Japan. We promote the healthy manufacturing, international trade, and consumption of IT and electronics products and services in order to contribute to the overall economic development of this industry. We, JEITA, do many things. For example, we make proposals on government policies for further improvement of business environment, regulatory institutional reform, tax reform, promote DX or digital transformation, and creation of new services using new technologies. We also solve the issues which our industry is facing, such as trade, international standardization, energy, climate change, capacity building, cybersecurity, etc. We also collect, organize, and analyze statistics from the industry, publish and distribute reports on production forecast, technological trends, etc. We also organize events, exhibitions, lectures, seminars, and establish consortium for the development of industry and solving challenges. Those are the functions of JEITA.
That's amazing. And you're clearly covering a wide scope of functions and responsibilities there. So lots for us to unpick and learn more about as we go through this discussion. So thank you. Okay, so just to really go back to that start point. So you're an organization that you clearly have the strong relationship with the Japanese government, but you're also a membership organization, aren't you? Individual companies can apply and become members of JEITA, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And just to give us an idea and a scope, approximately how many member companies do you have, Mitch, at the moment?
Currently, we have approximately 400 companies, which includes world famous big corporations like Hitachi, Toshiba, Sony, Panasonic, Fujitsu, and so on, and many SMEs also.
Okay, that's great. And presumably international companies can also become members of JEITA?
Yes, absolutely. JEITA's door is always open to foreign companies as well. Actually, currently, there are many foreign-based companies in the JEITA members like Apple, Amazon, Qualcomm, Samsung, HP, Microsoft, etc. They are already JEITA members.
That's amazing. Okay. One little specific point that comes to mind, because I'm sort of thinking a little bit on behalf of some of our listeners and our viewers to the podcast today. Do companies that are in this sector, the ICT technology sector, that may be interested in becoming members, do they have to have a presence in Japan, an office or a location in Japan, or can they become members from overseas?
Well, actually, the foreign companies already in the members, they have Japanese, they have offices in Japan already. And I don't think the companies, foreign companies without Japanese, the offices in Japan are not the member companies. Of course, the members are supposed to or expected to join the committees, and the committees are held here in this locally, and sometimes we meet in person. So
Right.
it's better to have staffs here
Yes.
in Japan.
I understand. So a presence of some sort locally on the ground in Japan would be beneficial, I guess, to get the best value out of the membership, apart from anything else.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I mean, do you have any idea roughly what kind of proportion of companies are international companies versus domestic companies? Would you know that kind of information, or not off the top of your head?
I do not have the exact number,
Yeah, okay.
but maybe a few percent.
Yes, okay, sure, I understand. I mean, one thing's for sure, we know in the Japanese market, there's so many domestic players, and you've just mentioned some of the big names that we would know. But also I know in the SME space, as you refer to it, there are so many amazing Japanese companies that in the international world, we probably don't even know the names of these companies. They're new companies, but they're doing some amazing stuff out there. So it sounds like you have quite a wide range of membership there. Okay, so just sort of exploring this idea of the international companies becoming members, what would you say would be the main benefits for them if they want to consider becoming members of JEITA?
Well, the benefit which they will receive will be, for example, JEITA member companies will be able to receive and exchange the most updated market information, technology information, and regulatory information in the IT and electronic sector in Japan from the government and other members in a very timely manner. And JEITA members will be able to exhibit at the exhibition called CTEK, which is the largest IT and electronics exhibition in Asia with membership price. And what else? Okay, JEITA offers many education programs related to IT and electronics industry. The members can join the programs with a special prize. And maybe lastly, JEITA gathers opinions and requests from the members and send those opinions and requests to the government of Japan, which is usually difficult for individual company to do so. So they do have a benefit by joining JEITA here in this market in Japan.
That's really good. Yeah, and I can certainly see, very valuable benefits on that. You mentioned the CTEC exhibition, and I want to actually come on to that in a moment, because I know your organization is heavily involved in that particular exhibition. But just one thought that came to my mind as we were talking about the benefits to the members there. And I realize in the last couple of years, as we've all gone through this pandemic, it's had a big impact on how we can meet each other and exhibitions and events and things like that. We haven't been able to do it in the way that we previously enjoyed doing. And hopefully those days are beginning to come back now. Let's hope so.
Right.
But what about from a kind of networking point of view? When we think about that incredible membership you've got of 400 companies, including many of the big names or most of the big names in Japan, I know that some of the international companies that are coming into the Japanese market and wanting to develop relationships with other Japanese companies and partnerships and customer base, one of the big hurdles is getting contact with and networking with and getting introduced to those companies. Is there anything around joining JEITA where there could be opportunities for that kind of either that networking or at least being able to build relationships with some of the other member companies?
Yes, if you join the JEITA and become members, there are many committees in the various field or interest, and they will offer meetings and information exchanging opportunities among members of those committees. So they will have a lot of chance to talk with those big names in JEITA. Yes,
Oh,
and
that's excellent.
participating in CTEK is another opportunity for them to show off their products and opportunities. Yes.
Yes, okay, that's really valuable. Yeah, that's so good to hear. So with those kind of committees that you refer to and those meetings, they would be kind of specific to individual areas of technology that companies are working in. So, as an example, I know recently we did some work to help a company from the UK that had some very unique technology in cybersecurity. So it might be possibly, I'm giving that as one example, but it might be possible within JEITA, you have a cybersecurity committee or a division that deals with that, where they could get involved and talk with other Japanese players in that space, right?
Absolutely, yes. One of
okay.
the committee is named Cybersecurity Study Group, and yes, major players in that field are members of that committee. So any foreign companies which are interested in that field are welcome to join that committee.
Excellent. Got it. Okay, that's really good. Really, really good. Very clear. I really understand that. And I would say that is one of the many huge benefits of getting involved with JEITA, definitely. Okay, now a couple of times we've mentioned this CTEK exhibition, and that is an exhibition that I'm familiar with. I've been there several times and been part of exhibiting there, and I can certainly endorse the point you made about the size and the scope and the scale of that exhibition. It's absolutely amazing, and I've always been so impressed when I've been to that one. But yeah, could you just expand and tell our audience and those people that maybe don't know about the CTEK exhibition, could you tell us a little bit more about that, please, Mitch?
Sure. CTEK is, like I said, the largest IT and electronics exhibition in Asia, which is held in October every year. It has the history of 60 years, and it has been held Makuhari, Chiba Prefecture, which is near Tokyo. CTEK gathers usually over 200,000 people, company executives, research engineers, salespeople, and lots of media coverage each year. And like you, Steve, said, due to the COVID-19 situation, however, it was held online for the last 2 years. It will be held in a hybrid manner this year, depending on the pandemic situation. At the CTEK, not only JEITA member companies, but also a lot of startups companies and industry associations from abroad gather and exhibit future-oriented technologies and the state-of-the-art public products and services. CTEK provides a great opportunity for participants to see and experience the innovation and the state-of-the-art technology by listening to the various seminars and conferences. You can grasp the updated technology trend and the directions which the world is facing towards. CTEK offers a great opportunity for exhibitors too. It is a good exposure of their products and services to the big audience.
Very good. Yeah, you've summarized it brilliantly well, and it is just such an impressive event. That figure you gave there of 200,000 delegates attending, it's just a colossal figure. And I picked up the point too that you refer to this as kind of an Asia-wide exhibition. So it's not just the Japanese domestic audience there. There's a lot of delegates flying in from other parts of Asia as well coming to that show, right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Okay. Now you mentioned that members of JEITA may be able to get some membership rates or something like that. So there's obviously I guess there's a financial benefit of being a member of JEITA. What actually happens? Because I know from my experience back in the days with CTEC, I know you guys have a very strong relationship with the British Embassy in Japan, and the embassy have previously taken some exhibition space, a booth space at CTEC, and invited UK companies to come onto that space. What happens through JEITA? Do you have a JEITA presence there where your members are part of that presence, or do your individual members take their own exhibition space at the show? How does that tend to work?
We accept the individual company's booth, or like Steve, you said, the embassies, like British embassies or the Swiss embassy, they had a booth at CTEC several years ago, and the companies in UK or Switzerland, they join that booth in order to consolidate their trend and directions in a good manner. So either will do. We accept the application in either form.
Yep. Okay, that's fine. You're flexible with that, right? Yeah. I certainly found, you know, certainly with smaller international companies, the sort of startup end, the smaller ones that are just getting going and getting momentum going, by being part of a booth such as the booth run by the UK government through the embassy, that gives you the kind of additional power of attracting the audience onto the stand on your booth. So there's several considerations about the right way to do it, isn't there? And that detail is part of a separate discussion that people can have. But it is just very good to know about the exhibition and the various options that are there for companies to consider.
Yes, I think in that manner, it is beneficial for delegates too, you know, who can see and experience what are the UK technology strengths. So
yes, yeah, great point. Exactly. No, that's a great point, Mitch. I did pick up a little word you mentioned there in regards to the plans for this year's CTEC, and I realize, you know, we all know, not just for JEITA and Japan, but all around the world, it's so difficult to make plans at the moment because we just can't predict what's likely to happen with this virus and the vaccines and things like that. But hopefully we're seeing some better times ahead. But the thing I did pick up there, you mentioned the word hybrid, and you said this year you might be planning some kind of hybrid event. Could you just tell us a little bit more about what that may mean and what you're thinking at the moment about how that hybrid event may work?
Sure. Before the pandemic came, the CTEC was held in a gigantic exhibition hall called幕張メッセ, and it's huge. huge exhibition areas. But due to the pandemic this year, I mean, for the last 2 years, it is difficult to exhibit or use in that area. So probably this year, in a hybrid manner, probably we will minimize or the size of the exhibition area, and for those limited exhibitions, and also the other exhibitors who would not be able to participate or exhibit physically, they will exhibit online. So both manner, so the delegate or participant can join the exhibit in either way for the benefit of the delegate. You know, it is very unfortunate for the delegate to see and touch the real products and services at site. But there are some good points or good merit for online exhibit too. For example, the people who live far away from Tokyo, or even people abroad can participate or join the exhibit. And also, you know, they don't have to fly to Tokyo, which was not possible before. And moreover, all of the exhibits, lectures, and seminars were stored and available online for 2 months, even after CTEK is over, for reviewing, which will be very useful for those people who missed the program.
Okay, understood. Really good. And it sounds like you're working hard on putting the best value package together for this year's CTEK. Does it, just remind me, Mitch, does the CTEK exhibition have its own dedicated website, or where can people find out more information if they're interested, or do they reach out to your organization?
Well, there will be a CTEK website will be available probably maybe 3 months or 4 months before CTEK, and then it will be announced widely, and the people who wants to participate register, and they check the program, conferences, and during the CTEK period, they participate, and like I said, they can check the programs and conferences and exhibit even after CTEK is over for the 2 months or so.
Excellent. That sounds good. So I guess just counting back very roughly, if the event is in October, we're probably looking at somewhere around June, July time, the website might go up and the information might start to become available. So,
yes.
So anyone listening into this podcast that could be interested in considering CTEK, then look out for the website around that time. And of course, you know, if you want more information, talk to us, reach out to JEITA, or even talk to the tech team at the British Embassy, and we'll all be able to and willing to help with that. So, but yeah, thank you for sort of explaining a bit more about the exhibition, Mitch. And I know that is a huge part of your program, and clearly a very, very impressive exhibition. Okay, just moving on from that, I'd like to just take a few moments now as we start to sort of draw to a close, just to pick your brains a little bit on what some of the current trends might be in Japan in the technology sector. Again, just to give us a little bit of an insight into what some of the buzzwords and the key sectors and the key areas of technology that are the sort of hot topics at the moment. And I know there was a few sort of expressions I picked up from some of the research that I did prior to this podcast. I saw the expressions like the Japan Challenge for Society 5.0, the Green X Digital Consortium, 5G driven social design consortium, various different organizations and different topics going on. And there may be others beyond that. So Mitch, could I just ask you for a quick sort of brief overview on what some of the hot topics are at the moment that are going on in your sector in Japan, please?
Sure, I'd be happy to share. Okay, as you are aware, Japan is facing many social issues and challenges, such as declining birth rate and aging population, and declining working age population, aging infrastructure, climate change, energy, natural disasters, gender gap, food loss, poverty, digital divide, etc., etc. The list goes on. And in order to tackle those social issues, IT and innovations are indispensable for those. And Japan alone is not enough for those solutions. And we need support of world technology. And you mentioned some of the names, but at the CTEK 2021 last year, JEITA and JETRO, Japan External Trade Organization, implemented the joint project called Japan Challenge for Society 5.0. It's a business contest for the social issues in Japan. So JEITA and JETRO solicited or called for solutions proposals from startups all around the world for 3 categories of social issues in Japan, like environmental friendliness, labor shortage and improving productivity, and smart and resilient Japan. The proposals by 45 companies in 18 countries were adopted, and JEITA provided the free CTEK online booth for those 45 companies for their business matching. Wow. And they were provided with expert consultant services for them to enter and doing business in Japan. And also they will be invited to Japan to see the market this year. And you mentioned some of the consortium. Okay, Japan is aiming for Society 5.0, which is a society where we can resolve the various challenges by incorporating the innovations of the fourth industrial revolutions like IoT, big data, AI, etc., into every industry and social life. In order to realize the Society 5.0, the stakeholders from various sectors need to gather and integrate their advanced technologies. We, JEITA, would like to be functioning as a glue for them. JEITA established recently 2 consortia for the co-creation of the market. One is called Green by Digital Consortium. It was established October last year. More than 60 companies across industries, such as construction, aviation, and logistics are participating in addition to IT sectors. And the consortium is working on activities to realize green of IT and green by digital, which includes visualization of greenhouse gas emissions. The other consortium is called 5G driven social design consortium. It was set up in September year 2020. This consortium consists of over 150 companies, industry associations, and local governments, and promotes social implementation of the enterprise 5G. As you are aware, 5G is one of the essential technology for implementation of IoT, autonomous driving, remote medicine, etc. So that's what JEITA is trying to do for those important field.
That's amazing, Mitch. And that, to be honest, I think there's some absolute, what I would describe as golden nuggets in that little overview you gave us, because what I'm hearing from you really is that those different areas that you touched on, those different challenges, those visions for the next step and the future, any international companies that are working in that space that have any form of unique technology or a leading edge technology that they're working on, there could be big opportunities in the Japanese market, because they're touching those hot spaces that are high priorities for Japan and Japan focus at the moment. So yeah, very valuable information. So thank you for sharing that. That's really good. Okay, I'm a little bit aware of the time. We're coming towards the end and coming towards the wrap up. But before I let you go, I think the most valuable thing we need to know now, we know a lot about your organization and what you do and all the benefits. What happens for international companies that are interested in taking that next step and perhaps becoming members and learning more about it? What do they need to do, Mitch, if they want to reach out to you?
Like I said, we always welcome foreign companies to join. JEITA will be happy to assist their entry and success in the Japanese market. Please visit JEITA's homepage and apply for membership. And even if they are not interested in joining JEITA at this moment, I believe participating in the CTEK and or exhibiting at the CTEK will be very beneficial for their understanding of market and business success in Japan.
Thank you, Mitch. That's a great summary, and I would just I would confirm exactly what you've said there. From my experience of exhibiting at CTEK, it was an incredibly useful show. I've been 2 or 3 times actually, and always we found new companies, new leads, new potential customers, potential partners to work with. So it was always such a valuable show. So I would certainly endorse CTEK, as you say, but also the wider picture of all the good work that JEITA is doing. And as we've picked out in this discussion, some of the other great benefits of access to information and market intelligence and reports and data, and of course, the chance to get involved in these different societies and discussion groups, which then leads on to networking and building relationships with other member companies that are working in the same space. So the benefits are very, very strong, and we've laid them out very well. So, well, Mitch, I think we've covered all the topics that I wanted to, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule and explaining so clearly all the points in this discussion. And to everyone listening in to this podcast, I hope you found that beneficial. I hope it's helped you give a much better understanding of JEITA and what they do, and also a great insight into what's going on in Japan, what the current trends are, where the opportunity spaces may be, and also some thoughts about how you can move ahead with getting involved in this exciting market and meeting some of the other great players in this market that could be customers or partners for you to work with. So I hope it's been useful for that perspective. But Mitch, thank you for your time. It's been great chatting with you again, and look forward to catching up with you soon, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you.